Alright, continuing my Clash of Kings Asia coverage. This is my round 2 game, Goblins vs Kingdoms of Men. Stay tuned.
Hello there! I like to watch battle reports to get better at games. So I started making short, summarized battle reports that focus on learning points. So welcome to my channel, Newbie Dice. Do like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you enjoy my videos. Do consider speeding up this video with the YouTube settings to consume this content or other YouTube content in a fraction of the time.
Alright, continuing with my Clash of Kings Asia coverage. This is my round 2, and ironically, round 2, round 3, and round 4, I was playing against Singaporean opponents, my own countrymen, right? But these players I've not played before, or I've not played them in a very long time, so I didn't mind it that much, although it'd be nice to face more people from other countries. But that being said, let's move into the game. And this is part of my Clash of Kings January 13th, 2024 games held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And this is the logo of the event. And in this video, I thought I'll feature some of our communities or players' armies in the pictures, right? So this is Forces of the Abyss. This is Abyssal Dwarfs, 2 shots. And I think this is mostly Mantic models. This is another Goblin player. It has a Mantic Goblin, Giant, and Winged. Most of the rest are G-Dub models. These is a full Mantic Halfling army. Pretty cool. This is a Northern Alliance army. Pretty nice. Night Stalkers. Mantic as well. These are Ogres Mantic as well. These are Orcs. And featuring 2 legions. Look at that footprint, my goodness. And oh yeah, if you like to see any closely, you can always pause the videos. This Ratkin, very nice paintwork over there, a bit of the grimy, grim look, but look at the gems, pretty nice. Alright, this is Ratkin Slaves. This is Salamanders Mantic Army. Salamanders GW Army. And this is Twilight Kin, very freaky looking Twilight Kin with lots of colors. Mantic Twilight Kin. Next we have my bodyguard's Trident Realm Army. He bought a treasure chest to be his display board as well as a transport case. And Undead, and you might see some touch of Mantic models. I think these Wraiths are actually Mantic models. Yeah, so even non-Mantic armies, some of them do have a touch of Mantic models. Another shot. This is either Undead or Empire of Dust. And this is Varangur, my previous round opponent. And of course, this is my own all-Mantic Goblin army, pink themed. I did go through them in detail in my previous video. You can check that out if you have missed it. And this is the display board. Alright, up to here, I'd like to do a little bit of shout out and promotion to Mantic. I do encourage people to purchase Mantic models for their next army project. Yeah, I do understand that most of the players, they do have an existing Warhammer Fantasy army collection that you convert into Mantic. Sure, right? Mantic would rather have you play their game than not play their game at all. But if you're considering purchasing all new models for your next army, do keep Mantic within your consideration, because as much as we love the game and the rules and the freedom to create, right, the company can't survive just selling rulebooks and Clash of Kings supplements alone. And the thing about and they're going into plastic tooling, right? And the thing about it is plastic tooling, there's a lot of cost upfront. Games Workshop, the Juggernaut, can keep doing it because they know their audience base is large enough that whatever the models they create with the plastic tooling, they are definitely able to sell enough of those models to recoup the tooling cost and of course make a profit. But for smaller companies such as Mantic, that is not given, right? So they might make a plastic sprue kit that does not sell enough units for them to recoup the tooling cost, and there is a very real problem right here. And I do wish that Mantic will hit that threshold where, you know, the audience is large enough that whatever plastic toolkit they make, they would sell in, they would be confident to sell enough units, and that's where we will be enjoying lots of plastic kits. But right now, Mantic is still pretty cautious in their production of plastic kits. I know we want them to redo some models, but you must understand, if they redo, the audience is smaller, because not everyone wants to repurchase and repaint those models, especially if they already have them, either through the Mantic older sculpts or some alternate source. So that's a very real challenge that Mantic is facing. Yep. And I do want to support Mantic because I like the game enough that I don't mind throwing money their way, and hopefully they'll grow as a company and produce better and better models for us to enjoy. Yeah, I know model choice is a buffet right now with other company lines as well as 3D printing, but yeah, do consider, you know, sometimes you do have a very creative project that you want to achieve with other models and ranges. Yeah, but do keep Mantic in consideration for one of your next army projects. Yep. So with that, let's go into my list. I've covered this in my last video, and so it's 4 hordes of rebel, 1 troll horde, and lots of shooting stuff and support units, right? 10 of them, only 10 of my 19 units score 20 unit strength. Do keep in mind this is a 2000 point list, so numbers are a little bit smaller than what you'd expect in 2300. This is my opponent list, very elite: 2 shield war regiments, 2 pike phalanx hordes, knights with J-boots, 2 beast cav flying and all that, 1 wizard with, very importantly, Veil of Shadows, which we'll talk about that later, captain with redeploy, 2 generals on wing beast, 9 of them score 25 unit strength. This is my opponent's list, and you can see a sprinkling of men-at-arms as the spear phalanx as well. The demi-griffs, these are the GW models. 3 models represent a horde. He did bring an appropriate footprint to represent the 2 hordes. Okay.
If you're from the Asia Pacific region, do consider checking out Hammer House website for your hobby needs. They carry a wide range of miniatures and hobby supplies, including Mantic, Vallejo, Scale 75, and Green Stuff World products.
Alright, with that, let's go into the game. I missed the deployment shot, so I'll have to talk you through the deployment in this top of 1 picture. Firstly, I won the role to place tokens. We're playing pillage with all 7 tokens, so that means I place 4 tokens and he places 3. Okay, so that's before choosing sides, right? So my opponent, I think, is quite in vogue right now for my local scene to place tokens in the corner to see if people would sacrifice units to score. I don't know if that is a great strategy against me. Goblins do have winglets that can fly to all spaces and claim tokens at the end of the game, but definitely I don't want to place my unit strength, waste my unit strength in the corner. Okay, so me placing the 4, I've placed them quite centrally, right? Both on the hill, because if whichever side I claim, I want to stand on the hill anyway, and if he stands on the hill, he'll get shot. So I'm fine with placing both on the hill and then both on the as centrally as possible out of the 12 inches of these 2 tokens. Okay, so I lost the side, so my opponent chose a side where there's 2 tokens in the corner because there's only 1 on my side. So he placed his 2 shield wall regiments there. Okay, labeling the units that's being deployed. You can pause if you want to look at them closely, but off camera there's a chariot king that I deployed behind this rebel. The rebel was deployed straight, and then there are 3 sharpstick throwers that's in this corner. Okay, playing we play on epic dwarf maps, so here's another picture that you can see, but okay, let me just rewind. And I appreciate how epic dwarf is designed, that there's no clear lane that you can see majority of the board. There are always just small lines, because you see a hill here, forest here, wherever I place my sharpstick throwers, I won't be seeing like the majority of the board. If I place it in over here, I can only see this way, right, and then past the forest. So of course, if the opponent step into the forest, I'll be able to see them. Similarly, for me placing them this way, I only see this way, and even there's blocking terrain here and here, right? So I only see this small window here and then over here. Okay, this, and of course anything taller than the hill I would be able to see. But yeah, so this is where I placed. Take note, my opponent does have redeploy with the captain, so originally he does have a beast cav here and the general wing beast here. So if you look at that, it's somewhat still quite symmetrical. Of course, the pikes are skewed slightly towards this side and the knights are here, but if you see the beast calf here and the general here, it would be still somewhat symmetrical. But he wrote 2 on the redeploy and he redeployed both units here. Beast calf stacked behind the other one and the general stacked behind the other one. And my opponent, being quite new back into Kings of War, he has not played against my goblins before and goblins in general, so he said he did underestimated my shooting. He would have redeployed his wizard to Veil of Shadows this whole area, right? But that being said, I would still be able to get on the hill, hex him, right, and stop his Veil of Shadows for other turns, right? So yeah, and I won turn 1. That means if I hexed him, he cast turn 2 and maybe I'll snipe him out or something like that, right? Or he can't move forwards. Let's say his wizard is here. He can't move forwards if you want to hex. If he wants to cast his Veil of Shadows, and the bubble will be limited. And of course he should deploy somewhere here behind the forest so that my wizard can't see him even if I get on the hill, right? So yeah, take note, Veil of Shadows, you must hide it from my caster on the hill. So behind the general wing beast, hide 6 would do the trick. Okay, yeah, so let's talk about my turn. So seeing how his stuff redeployed over, my sharpstick throwers, I think all 3 of them can still see this unit of shield wall over here. So I moved the rebel out of the way, that's why they turned and moved this way, so that I create a window. I shoot shot at it, maybe 2 or if not at least 3 or if not at least 2 of them can shoot. So I shot over there. My king on chariot moved up to the water. Because of there's water, I can't double 18 inches, and because it's deployed so far back, my 18-inch short bow wouldn't reach as well. So I think I usually deploy all my 3 wingits quite centrally, right? So and I deploy them centrally and quite far back, because wingits, I don't expect them to shoot top of 1 or bottom of 1 even. So I have 1 round of flying 20 inches wherever I want to set up for the next turn anyway. So this red wingit flew all the way over here because I want to tag it within 24 inches for the elite from my sharpstick throwers. Right, the rest shuffled up. With 2 general wing beasts, I've set the mincer and Grony on flank protection. Okay. Yeah, next is the bottom 1 picture. So there you can see my 3 sharpstick throwers, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and the king on chariot over here. Okay, my opponent moved up cautiously, and the 2 general wing beasts flew around the forest. I think it flew 20 and turned and faced this way. Okay, and what else? Let's see. One thing he did though, he put it within 10 inches of my mincer, so my mincer could charge hindered. Alright, and yeah, everything pushed forwards, that's all. So top of 2. So we discussed that we also had a discussion on where it's supposed to face, because in this picture it was facing this way, and he said, oh yeah, wanted to face him this way. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll still charge my mincer. But looking back at the picture, I noticed that the Grony should be on the other side. Okay, so that was my mistake there. Yeah, if it was on the other side, I wouldn't have charged. But pathetically, these 2 charges dealt 1 damage. Okay, 1 damage. So pretty poor to say the least. Okay, yeah, so next, shooting. Very importantly, the knights moved within, so the sharpsticks being here, right, they threaten 48 inches, so going about width of the board, it's about 2/3, so it's about here. So if you notice, the line touches the knights. Okay, so I could see the knights through this. Okay, and they're height 3, right? My rebel got off the hill, height 2, no problem. So I started shooting at the knights, and I remember I shot this, and these 2 wingits are within 12, safely behind the rebel. and I have to make sure I don't get charged by the beast calf, right? So everything was within, so such that the beast calf can't fit. The trolls also can't be charged. He can't see past the forest. I just realized, right? But either way, so I will have to make sure everything cannot be charged by the beast calf, so everything's bunkered up. And lightning bolt also went in, okay. And I think I remember I wavered the knight through my shooting. Over here, he moved his shield wall in a way that some of my sharpsticks can't see past the blocking terrain. So anyway, I shot at the knight. So here, my king on chariot moved up 9 inches and shot his bow. This winged shot at this as well. He charges 10. I stayed within 12, and out of 10, within 12 to shoot at it. So I dealt more damage. So already 3 ballistas, now some bows and 1 wicket. It took some damage, but it's not dead yet. Okay. Took quite a lot to take it down actually. So, yep. Next up. So my opponent, what did he do? Let's see, on the middle, he pushed forwards. This beast calf elected to stay behind the knights, right? And this beast calf towed into the forest. I think he towed much more than he probably needed to. That is quite significant, because it was within 12 inches of my trolls. That's quite important, right? The next, so if he's just towed in, maybe he would be out of 12 inches of my trolls. Okay. The next thing was the general on wing beast. So one of them flanked the mincer, the other one actually charged Grony, if I'm not wrong, because Grony is wounded and wavered. Yep. So I realized that he should have slid his general down. Forgot about that. Let's see. Let me try to see what's going on. Dun, 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 dun. Yep. Okay. So anyway, the flank killed. Oh, I think the beast calf charged into the mincer mob as well. That was why the mincer as well. That was why it's positioned over there. Then it regrouped. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if this second general charged. I think he did. Okay, or maybe he didn't. Alright, so maybe he moved back. Okay, so then this counter charges Grony and actually wavered Grony in one swing. Okay, so yeah, very important that this beast calf is now within charge range of the trolls. So what I did was, let's see over here. Firstly, Grony was wavered, so it turned and moved back 5 inches. It's still speed 10, right? So importantly, out of the front arcs. Okay, the rebel, because the knights were wounded, right? So I thought the rebel could finish it off. So I say, okay, might as well I charge it, right? And I think it dealt no wounds. It could have dealt no wounds or just very little, but didn't even waver it this time around. And my trolls charged the beast calf, and this is a positioning trick that I'd like to mention, because if it would have charged the beast calf head on, you will be in flank charge of these two generals. Okay, so what I did was I placed this blue winged in a way that it blocks the trolls from sliding all the way in. So in this position, I kept both generals within the front arc. So yep, so I used the two wingeds. Alright, so the wingeds then shot at the general and wing beast, dealing it up to 4, if I'm not wrong, if I see this dice. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, next picture. Whoa. 4, yeah. So still quite pathetic, right? Because it was already on 1. But centrally, my shooting did work. I killed off 1 spear phalanx on the hill. So I counted the number of shots. I have 33 shots, because 20 from the trombones, 7 from lightning bolt, and then alchemist curse on the defense 4 is 6. Okay, I got the rebel off the hill, so all these things are shooting without cover because they are on the hill, right? And on top of that, 9 blasting shots, because I have 6 from the 3 sharp sticks and 1 winged over here. It fell off the stand, so I was gluing it back. So that's a proxy base while I was gluing it back. Yeah, so quite terrorizing over there. I don't expect this rebel to survive. Oh, it did survive. Cause I thought this might flank the rebel. Okay, but either way, on his turn, he charged Spear Phalanx plus Beast Cav into the rebel in the middle. But take note, there's this little obstacle here. So when he charged the Spear Phalanx, it will clip this obstacle, minimum pivot, right? And then the final position of the Beast Cav also clipped. So both of them were hindered. So my rebel actually lived. Right. Over on the right side, the knights countercharged the rebel, and I think they might have even wavered the rebel. Okay. So next over here, Beast Cav plus 1 general in the front. Plus 1 general in the front, charged the trolls, hindered, right, because it's all in the forest, so I survived. The other general positioned to face down the flank of my army. Okay, so looking back, I think he could have triple charged. And so the order of your charges also quite important, because if you order the counter charge on the knights first, you will have slide to the center, and that might make it not able to fit the 2 generals. But if you ordered the triple charge here first, then the knights wouldn't be as central, and then you could possibly fit all 3 generals. So that's something to take note. Okay, all 3 units, the 2 generals and the... Because if I eyeball this, this looks like that space. Right? Okay, so that's what happened. And let's move on to the next. So top of 4, you notice this thing is still going on. I have not killed it, so I believe I might have been wavered. Or even if I hit back, I just dealt so little damage that it's still around. Okay, so over in the middle, I counter charged the Spear Phalanx, and the other one charged it in the flank. But this one is... They're both hitting on 6s, because one is hindered, one is ensnared. Alright, so I only dealt 5 wounds. Okay, so yeah, counting down, I should have 12 hits. Yeah, about there. Okay, the rest of my shooting shot into the Beast Cav and took it out. So I counted, yes, another 34 shots now, because my Alchemist Curse on defense 5 is 1 more dice. So 34 shots and 9 blast. Okay, pseudo 35 because I still have conjuring stuff. So that's a lot of shots, right? Her horde has 18 attacks. Even a Spear Phalanx has 30 attacks. This is 40 over attacks, and some of them blast. Okay, so let's see over on the right side over here. My trolls countercharge the Beast Cav, and my Grony does have a line of sight onto the... I think it's somewhere here that I can see behind, that I could see the back rear of the rear corner of the Beast Cav, and I charged it in the flank. Right, so trolls, and I think my Grony ruled a little hot, and together we took out the Beast Cav. Yep, and then yeah, over here on the other side, the Wingates continued to fire down on this one of the generals. Okay, and it was on 11 wounds. 2 Wingates over here. Okay. So on his turn, and I think it's wavered because there's this orange token over here. The general charged into the trolls, not killing it. And the knights killed the rebel, right? And over here, the rebel that was double charged, now the phalanx charged it again and took it out and turned to face this side. So at first, I was pretty confident, right? I actually had quite a bit of tunnel vision because when I play my goblins, I'm always just very focused on, okay, what do I need to shoot? What do I need to charge? What do I need to shoot? What do I need to charge? So usually, only later in the game, then I take a step back and realize what's left. And I realize, oh, I'm grinding down his army. things are looking good until I noticed the center. Actually, this Spear Phalanx is holding these 2 tokens, right? Because of how wide it is. Then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I have 1, 2, and he has 1, 2, 3. Okay, of course, this one is still being fought for. So yep, that made me sweat a little bit because it is top of 5. I have 2 turns left only. Okay, I forgot to cover what happened on the top left. So basically, what happened is, right, I moved up, I shot it, and then after that, he was within charge range. I charged the flank, and I didn't even kill it, right, after so much shooting and charging in the flank. And then he counter-charged me, and then I finally charged and kill it. Okay, and then bottom of 4, because my king was injured by the shield wall, he charged his wizard, hoping to deal a wound, and maybe cause a waver and eventually rout. That didn't happen. And on my turn, I killed off the wizard. Okay. And over here, I decided, at first I thought of, because it was quite wounded, right? Actually, it only had 5 wounds. So I thought I would charge the rebel in. Then I realized, oh, he's holding these 2 tokens. So if he stayed here, it's not good for me. I need to shoot it down. So I decided not to charge, and I just shot at it. Only 6 damage, right? Because what? He was on 5. This is a 5. Okay, and this is 11. So only 6 damage. Quite surprising. I did have to dedicate some shots into the knights to finish it off. I did have a trombone here, and I'm not sure if I pumped more of the wizard shots in to make sure it dies. And then the remaining shots I pumped into the Spear Phalanx. So one thing I should have done in hindsight was to back up the rebel, because that would put him in a position where if he charged my rebel and kill it, this rebel is fresh though, it would take him out of position of the 2 tokens, and even with a reform backwards, it wouldn't be within the 2 tokens. So that's what I should have done. Just a small thing, just in case he doesn't die. Okay. So top of 5, what else? I killed 1. I killed the 11 wound general with a Grony charge, and then the remaining 2 wingets shot into this general. And on his turn, his general decided to get out of there. He charged the wizard, hoping to overrun into my my war engine, but he rolled poorly. And even then, it's not a given, right? Because 7 attacks, you're only expected to hit 4. Even if wound 4, 9, 11 is 7 twice, right? So the captain charged into the wingate. The captain has been double charging into this rebel. Yeah, the captain was over here, so he was contributing damage into the rebel as well. Now he charged into the wingate. Okay, dealing damage to disorder it, but not a big problem for me at this point. He charged his Spear Phalanx into my fresh rebel, not expected to kill, right? Because 30 attacks on 4s and 4s, that's only 7.5. Okay, so at this point, I shot at both units, which are both pretty wounded. So I took out both the units, both the Spear Phalanx as well as the General on Winged Beast. On the bottom of 6, he only had this unit and the Captain left. Captain charged the Wingate again and did not kill it. Okay, with that is the end of the game. So let's look at some learning points. I think on blackjack scoring, I scored another 18. Yep, I think I do remember my first 2 games were 18 and 18. Okay, so Veil of Shadows, do remember to use it. Okay, oh, my animation is off right there. Okay, fast units should charge first. Granted, his Beast Cav, now that I look at it, did charge the Mincer, but that's just a 90-point unit, taking away the attention of both generals and the Beast Cav. Well worth it, alright? And yeah, when you fight against Goblin, you have to, you don't want to charge the Rebel because you realize that you might not kill it, or you kill it and then you get shot, but then you just have to kill the Rebel. There's no way to win the Goblins without killing Rebel, so you just have to smash through. Yep, Veil of Shadows, would have helped in this game. Yep, he has no Pathfinder, so there was a lot of combats happening in the forest. So, yep, granted, my trolls did charge his Beastcraft first, so he would have been a counter charge, but he also lost his TC1, right? So, without healing in his list, the damage does stick, and then eventually I get to clear out all the units. And without shooting from his side, I'm not afraid of my shooting units getting sniped off. Yep, some positioning tricks with the blue winged that position such that my trolls get to face front of the enemy, to take note as well. And goblins, one of my favorite enemies are lists like this, that they have very big expensive units and they're only defense 5, that the bulk of my shooting can chew through, and I only force them to charge rebel. So yep, this is a favorite opponent of the goblin shooting list. Okay, with that, I'd like to end off the video by shouting out to my patrons: 1 Peep Anonymous, 2 Peep Thomas Douglas, and 4 Peep Alessandro Serpe. If you enjoyed my battle report coverage, do watch another video. Do help the YouTube algorithm by doing all the fanciful stuff up there, like, subscribe and all. I do have a podcast as well as my latest video. I think my latest audio was covering the Clash of Kings changes. So if you're still new to Clash of Kings, you can check that out. I have internationally renowned players invited to chat about the armies. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, that is the link. With that, next video will be round 3, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.